Hello, crafty cuties. Welcome back to Paper Terrace, and if you're new, I'm Jessica. I thought it would be fun to go ahead and turn the camera on. I'm making Edith Holden journals, and I have already put up a tutorial to take you through making one of these, but I am actually working on 3 more at a time, and I do always get a lot of interest whenever I'm doing anything that is making a journal collection or making more than one journal, because as we all know, making one journal is very time consuming. So if you have never made more than one at a time, it can seem like, whoa, if I can barely make one in a week, how can you make 10 in one go? So I thought it would be good for me to turn the camera on and take you through. Now I have already prepped these ones, but again, I have a full tutorial start to finish of one of these, and I'll put it down below. So let me just update you where I'm at. So I am using these file folders as my cover. It's a 1 signature journal, and I did already pick out the pages. Now the thing about these journals is they are a mixture of pages, but they are going to be, I guess you could call them blank journals. So I'll show you when we get to the binding, I'll go through and show you what the variety of pages looks like. We're gonna start out by just decorating the covers. And so I already have an Edith Holden page picked out for each one, and I have all of my supplies easy to reach, because what happens is when I come up with one type of journal that I like, that I want to recreate, I kind of use this idea as a prototype, and it does make it quicker to make more than one at a time because I know all of the supplies I need. So I just multiplied that by 3 in this instance where I'm making 3. Okay, I know I'm talking a lot, so we'll just get into it. 2 of these are already sold, and then this one right here I'll have available on my website. And I do also have these available in pre-order style, which means when you purchase it, it's not already made. You don't get a picture before, but it's going to be very, very similar to what you see here. It also just means that it's not shipping right away. I think I gave myself like a 7-day period of time. So by the time you purchase it, it could take up to 7 days for me to ship it. So, okay, I just already said I wasn't gonna talk a lot, but I am gonna set 2 of these out of the way, and we're gonna just start by focusing on one. So the first thing that I know I need to do is trim down my picture just a little bit. And so I'm using a ruler. I want these to be kind of vintagey, not perfect, lots of texture, and a little beat up, I guess you could say. So we're gonna do that, and I'm just using the cover here as a guide. And again, I will just trim off this. So a lot of times when I do one step to one, I will go ahead and do that to the others. I'm gonna mainly be focusing on one, but you'll see me go back and forth between the 3 when there's steps like this. That's like an easy step, and it's just kind of nice to get it out of the way while I have the tool out, which in this case is just the ruler, but I do find it the best results when I'm able to keep my desk work area free from clutter if possible. And this doesn't have to be perfect, what I'm doing here. And again, you can take this same idea and use it for other types of journals as well. But I think the key to making this work is, number 1, having a prototype idea for what you're trying to, I guess, mimic. And so even though each journal is going to end up different, you have a main design that you are going after. And on top of that, you know exactly the amount of supplies that you need. Now, of course, what you'll see me do probably is I will add little final touches to each one that's a little bit different from the original. And that's how I make them all end up, you know, their own unique journal, even though they have the same style. Okay. That. Actually gonna throw that garbage away again so that we're keeping clutter away. The next thing I want to do is I'm gonna take this and take some ink, and also love my little ink station by Charlie Chicks UK on Etsy. And I'm going to take a stencil that I know I like the design of, and I'm going to add a little bit of detail up here. And for this one, a little bit down here. So again, I'm going to put that next to its cover. And I'll take this one. Oops, this is upside down. This one has a little bit more white space, so I think I will add a little bit up here. And maybe a little bit along the side here, like that. Try to stay in frame here as well. So it's just a little bit of extra detail. Last one, so you can see this goes pretty quick. But not to say, coming up with the original design, definitely put more time into that, and then it just is always going to be a little bit quicker when you already have your idea in mind. Okay, I'm going to put that stencil away so it's not in the way. I'm going to take a little extra and just go around here. Now these Edith Holden pages are definitely already nicely, I guess, aged looking, but I want to add a little bit extra. And since I decided to do that, I'm going to do that to these as well. Just kind of random. Okay. And I personally keep these little imperfections. Like if you see this didn't cut straight across down, but I like that. So I'm gonna not worry about that. Now the next thing is I am adding metal hardware to the cover. So I want to do that before gluing this down. And so for instance, I'm gonna take my little nameplate here, and I'll have a link. Oh gosh, I'm sorry guys. I will have a link to these and anything else that I can find. Let's see. So I'm gonna take my two brads as well. Now for these are all gonna be a different placement, and I just look and figure out where I like it with the picture. I like this one up in the corner, I think. And then basically what I've been doing is layering either fabric, lace, fabric, lace, or some kind of muslin fabric. Wallpaper, whatever. And I'll just kind of play around with it for a minute to see how I like it. I think I will grab some fabric as well. Okay, I think we'll go like that. But I do want to find some paper as well. Let's see, did I trim that down too much? This is just some like handmade paper. Okay. Now I'm just gonna layer these up best I can. I'm gonna sew this real quick, just super duper quick. My cat's laying right next to my sewing machine and I might startle him, but we'll see. Didn't even bother him. So I just did that right there. And I just want this to fit kind of randomly. Then I'm going to go ahead and start by looking for my awl just to help me punch through all those layers. Okay, I'm going to start by putting one through here. Then I'm gonna put it through the book page as well. I'm just making sure, yeah, I like it up there. Real quick before I put that down, I'm gonna put a little bit of glue actually back here. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, try to straighten everything up. Now we have some glue holding everything down as well. Okay. Straighten that up. That looks pretty good. Someone's like doing some kind of updating on their fence or something outside. I was worried it was going to be too loud, but I think it's okay. All right, put that last spread on like that. There we go. I'm not going to glue this one down yet because we have a couple more steps, but I'm just going to repeat that. And sometimes this part can feel a little tedious to me because I'm like, yeah, I don't really want to do this 3 times right now, but I do find that it makes it way more doable if I do it all at once, like I said, while I have like all of the tools out and everything like that. So I'm gonna do this one, I think, down here. And again, I'm just layering on a few different textures for this part. A lot of times I'll use a lot of the same materials that I just did. I'm gonna grab some more fabric. Ooh, for this one, I have a little bit of this sunflower fabric. I think that might be kind of fun. And I want these to not line up perfectly. And like that, I think. For this one, I think I'm gonna sew these together too. Let me just, and I'm really just making sure that everything gets a little bit of the sewing so that it's all together. And I'm gonna like that. I'm gonna trim off a little bit of that wallpaper. Don't need it too big. Yep, I think I'm gonna do that right there. A little bit of glue. And I am covering up text on this, but that's okay because that's not really super important to me. The image is really what I want. Okay, just like that. And then I'll poke a hole here for the first brad. Go ahead and put my brad through. That one seems still a little wonky. There we go. Okay, sorry for the reach. Let me grab one more. Poke this through. Okay, so we have one more to go. There's that one. Set that with its journal. Then, again, getting rid of some garbage. Just taking the cover. Okay, so this one has a lot going on, but I think I'll probably put this over on this side like that. I'm just gonna do the same thing. Layer up some wallpaper. Let's see if I can find more handmade paper. Oh, now my cat is knocking things down. I think I'll try some craft colored paper. And I like the raw edges, like I've said, so I am making sure to have those. For this one, maybe I will change it up a little bit because I told you I want to make sure that everything is a little bit unique. So I'm gonna take some lace that's right behind me real fast. And okay. I think I'm gonna put the lace underneath like that. And I'm gonna staple these ones like that. Still gonna add a little bit of glue on the back here just to hold everything in place. And so let's see, did I say over here? I think I said over here. Go ahead and line this up where I want it. I didn't think about the fact that these staples might be right where I'm gonna put bread, so I'll just work around that. Poke my first hole. Reach over you again. Okay, put one brad and put the next. Like that. Okay. Some of these brads, oops, got kind of bent, so they're not the easiest thing to work with, but that's okay. There we go. Okay. Now we have our nameplates, metal pieces on everything. No, I think that's okay. All right, the next step, we're gonna go ahead and put that back there with that. So if you can see a little bit of the border. And I do like the brown, but I do also want some wallpaper to be peeking through. So let's see, what I did last time was just kind of started collaging on, and actually I could probably take the pages out, but I don't want to mess things up and make too much of a mess. So I'm just gonna start collaging on wallpaper because this is going to wrap around to the back as well, which will mainly be covered in wallpaper. Or lace, whatever I decide. So for this part, I'm just gonna go through one, finish it completely. And since I cut all of these pages down all a little bit different, I'll just kind of see. Okay. For this one, I think I'm gonna go ahead and also take a piece and fold it in half and have this go kind of wrap around the spine. I am adding a good amount of glue. I think that's all I need for the front cover, but let's see again. Yeah, again, I like some of that brown showing on the border, so I'm actually gonna go ahead and just glue this down now. And because I don't want this video to be too long, I'm just going to continue finishing these. Did someone just knock on my door? No, I don't. I'm actually waiting for a new phone to get delivered, you guys. So I don't know if you, well, I've talked about it a little bit, but I have two phones that don't work very well. And this phone that I film on has no space ever. So I can film one video, but until I upload it, I can't film another one, and it's been the biggest hassle. So I just went ahead and bit the bullet. So anyways, okay. So we glued that down. Might need to add a little bit more glue around the sides here. Oops. Or not the sides, but the edge. And I don't think I'm gonna add any sewing to this. Okay, so we're done with that, but then we want to finish covering the back here. And these I've just kind of been doing all different, but it's basically all collaging on wallpapers. It's just kind of what I have been enjoying. So you can see this part of the process definitely a little bit more time consuming, and then of course I have to go through the other two, but for this part I just like to get this completely done before moving on. Okay, I'm just going to be working with some of the wallpapers I have here. And I am keeping the scraps out because I'm going to use all of my scraps on the next two. So again, I'm doing all the steps right next to one another so that I don't have too much out on my desk, doesn't get too overwhelming. Okay. Sometimes I will add a little bit of lace here. Let me just grab like that. If I do this, I will probably sew the border just because I do want to make sure that the lace will stay in place. So I'm just going to go like that. I'll glue it for now, but yeah, I think I'll like that. Yeah, that's super cute. Okay. So now I'm going to repeat the same thing to the next two. And like I said, since this is a pretty time consuming part, I am going to turn the camera off here. I'll finish collaging the other two, but I won't move on until I get back with you. Here we are. It's been at least an hour, so it did take me quite a while to finish all three of the collaging and adding the main picture, but we have this done. And I did add some sewing detail, if you can see, like around the picture, just to make sure that everything stays down really well. So the next step, so we need to, I want to decorate the inside covers, and I have 3 images here for that. And then add some closures. So let's start with the closures, and I'm going to do the same closure for each, or the same type. And I'm using my Crop-A-Dile and then some little eyelets. For this one, I think I'm going to do, let's see, I have orange. Yeah, I'll do orange for this one. So let's start there. And I like to do this before putting any kind of pocket or anything on the inside. I'm just going to eyeball the first one and do it right around there. Whoops, wrong. That was the wrong part. Okay. Put my little eyelet. Close that off, and then I'll just take the pages out real fast. So for this part, it does have, you can see it has a little flap here. So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, use this to figure out where I need to punch the hole. In fact, I'm just gonna draw a little dot like that, make it easy. And I will first punch that hole through the flap, set it, or actually, you know what, I have been setting it, but now that I think about it, it's probably easier. So what I'm gonna do now is cut like a, almost like a triangle. Yeah, that's much easier to do that now. I don't know why I haven't been doing that, but now I know. So then I will set it, and I'll show you why I did that if you're not catching on. Set that. I feel like I could have set that a little bit tighter. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so I did that so that you can still open it up, except for I sewed through it right here. And then you have some little pockets like so. And I'm going to keep that completely open on the back because I think that's just kind of fun. And it gives the recipient a chance to decorate, or they can completely cover it up if they want. So for the closure on this one, I think I'm going to use this lace. And let's see, just measure how much I want here. Cut that in half. Here, I think I'm just gonna push this through like that. I have been enjoying to finish off my closures this way, where I just have one of the ends go through and then I tie it. And depending on what kind of material it is, I'll double knot it usually. Then I will go ahead and do the same for this. And I'll tie that as well. Okay. So before I move on any further, I'm just gonna put the pages in, and then I'm gonna do that same thing to these next ones because I'm going to do the same closure. Oops. So I'm just going to copy that. I'll finish off these closures and then I'll be right back to show you the next step that I will do for all of them. Okay, we have the closures on all of them. Now I'm going to take 3 bulb pins and these little leaf charms and just go ahead and clip that on to the lace or trim that's the closure is on, like that. I'm just going to do that for all of them real quick here. I really like how that looks, so just take the last one here. We are getting closer. All right, now, like I said, I want to put a little pocket on the inside before we bind these and finish them off. Okay, so for instance, I have 3 images. Let's see, I could. I'm just gonna start by try to decide how big I want the pocket. It could be like a half pocket or a larger tall pocket is what I've been doing, but I think I might change it up for these ones. Because this image is, well, maybe I like that. Yeah, let's go ahead and just tear this down quite a bit. And it's definitely too wide, so I'll just have to cut off some of the image. I'll save that for collaging though. And I might go ahead and even just make it kind of a weird size pocket. Not weird, but yeah, like that, I think. And since this image doesn't take up, like, the whole thing's not image, I am gonna just quickly, which I wasn't planning on doing this part, but ooh, this will be perfect. Add some kind of a little detail here. And for this, I'm just gonna staple that on. And then we'll have a little label down here. I felt like it was just missing something. Like that. I also do want to add ink. It's too white. Just around the edges. And then I'm going to take this stencil, actually just go over on this side like that. And then I'm just going to go glue it on like a half pocket. Kind of like that. And then it'll be a good spot not to put too much, but like a tag or, you know, like guest check or something like that. Let me just make sure. Yep, perfect. Okay. I think I am gonna glue it all the way. Well, I'm just gonna take that off. I am gonna add glue actually along all sides like that. Yeah, so it's just gonna be a tall pocket. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry really good before putting anything in the pocket as well. So now I'm gonna do that same thing to the other two, and then it'll be just about time to bind these together. Okay, so they each have an inside pocket now. Here's this one. This one's gonna be a side pocket, and then the one that you saw right here. So it's time to bind, but real fast, I thought I would just go over the the pages. I had to think what I was saying, the pages. So I'll show you the variety here, and I have about 15 full-size pages. So when those are folded in half, you get 60 pages front and back. So we have vellum, we have a printable, and I just added some ink around the edges. And then I did a little stenciling on the back of this so that it's white, but not too white. Ledger paper, book page, graph paper, a notebook paper, a really fun kind of like tissue paper slash vellum kind of, another note paper, book page, a fun ledger paper, a little bag, wallpaper, coffee dyed paper, some more graph paper that's more of a yellow color, some fun math algebra paper, and then some scrapbook paper, and I folded up the middle to create a pocket, but other than that, everything is blank. So when I was deciding on all, I just wanted there to be such a big variety of pages, so I just went through all of the different types of paper I had and made 3 piles of like kind of that same thing. Now I am going to use this fun little binding tool to help me bind these, and I actually did a full review on this, so it was sent to me, and I do really love it for these journals. So I'm going to go over this part pretty quick. I am just doing a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. I am putting paper clips in on each side to help me, and basically you just line the center up here like so. Oh boy, don't drop it. And then this kind of holds everything into place. And then you can go ahead and punch your holes. And I'm just gonna kind of eyeball where I'm punching the holes. I'm just kind of spreading them out even between 3 holes. Actually, I'll probably do that one right there. Then, yep, everything lined up perfectly. So then we can take our waxed linen thread, and we are on to the last step where I will do a really simple 3-hole pamphlet stitch going through the center to the outside. If you want to see a slower version of this, I do have my review of this tool and I take you through this process a little bit. Oh, see, now the thing is even though the holes are lined up perfectly, I accidentally just kind of, what can I say? I kind of hit the paper clip and so you do have to kind of reline everything up, but not a big deal. There we go. And then down to the bottom hole. Just making sure to pull that tight. And then back in through the center hole. And I kind of, sorry, I have to bring this a little closer to my face really quick. Oops. And then just bring that all the way through. And tie it off. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and bind the other two. And that, my lovelies, is how I guess you could call it mass making journals on a smaller scale. I love these journals though. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'll finish the others and then I'll just show you what they look like all done. Here they are, all finished. So this is the one that as I'm filming is available. So I will have a listing with this specific picture. This is not a pre-order because this one is already to go. And this one has the little side pocket and then the same variety of pages that I showed you. Obviously they're gonna vary a little bit different, the pocket. And then these two already have new homes, so I'm excited to get these ones sent off. Here's how that one looks. This one I used some of my tie-dye trim for the closure, and I really love how that matches that. And this one has a nice long pocket. And this one was a little bit different, but this one as well is getting sent to its new home. So I hope that this video was helpful to you guys. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I hope that you will get to using some of your Edith Holden papers to make beautiful journals. And that's it. So I'll see you guys later and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye.